Here's one thing that I wish I did as a grieving child. Losing a loved one at any age is a very challenging experience, and for children, navigating grief is very overwhelming. As a parent or a guardian, your role is extremely crucial in providing support, comfort, and understanding during a difficult time. Here's one thing that I wish I did as a grieving child that may help your grieving child cope a little bit better. My father died when I was 12 years old. He was in the World Trade Center. Today I'm 35, and one of the biggest hurdles for me is my forgetfulness. There's so much I don't remember. I remember that day pretty well. I remember going to school, I remember finding out that a plane went into the towers, not understanding what that meant, if it was serious, trying to find out, and going through the school day, walking home, getting around that one bend where I could see my house for the first time and I saw cars outside, and that's when I first knew something serious has happened and it was about to get real. I remember walking into the living room, my family's trying to hold me back from seeing the TV, and I forced myself to watch it, and that was the moment I saw the towers go down for the first time. I broke down, and I completely had a waterfall, a tsunami of tears that came out like I never knew was possible. And from that moment on, there is so much I don't remember. Over the last 23 years since I lost my dad, I've had a lot of different stages in my life, a lot of processes that I had to go through, a lot of questions. Why did this happen? What does it mean? What makes me me? How much did this shape me? How much did that day affect who I am today, the good and the bad? I wish I remembered more vividly what I was feeling. That day, the moment after I cried before it went all black, the following days, weeks, months, years going into my teenage years. But I want to know what I was feeling. I want to know what I felt about myself at that time. But I wish I had some kind of understanding as to what I truly felt and what was going through my mind. The one thing that I wish I could tell my 12-year-old self to do, and maybe urge you as a parent or guardian to consider doing with your grieving child, is to write down and record what they're feeling, what's going through their minds. Again, there's so much I don't remember, and I wish I remembered things more vividly. If I had something to look back at and read what was going through my mind or watch, it would help my process along the way as a grown man or going through my teenage years. Looking back at myself at 12 years old, I might have been reluctant if my mom or sister or someone told me, hey, write down how you're feeling, look in the camera and record this. So maybe there are other ways you can gamify it, ideas that I'm still thinking about, but if you can make it more engaging, maybe you can ask them questions and try to get it out of them and you take notes. Some way of putting down a pen and paper on record what they're feeling, what they're going through, and do it for as long or as short as you want. But as me, in my personal experience, someone who just doesn't remember a lot, I wish I had something to look back on, a writing, a video, something that was expressing my thoughts so I can look back at when I was 18 or 25 or 30 and be like, oh, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was going through. Instead of having this constant battle of what did I feel? What was I going through? What did I do well? What did I not do well? That maybe would give me a better understanding of who I am today and how I've gone through my grief experience. I also see this as a healing mechanism of expression. It's a time capsule, a way for the child to get it out. Someone as a child doesn't really understand their emotions or who they are. They're still developing. And again, me looking back 20 years later, if I had a piece of paper or a video to look back at what I was feeling, it would be a different process. It would be a different way of understanding where I've been and what I felt. It's a great way, just in case your child may have the same thing that I did, which was a biological traumatic response of blocking my memories because it was so traumatic that maybe I couldn't handle it at that time. So my body was protecting myself. But then later down the line, it's frustrating that I can't remember these things. So to have this time capsule of writings or videos or notes from you as the guardian or parent, it's a good way to reflect on how they were feeling and not only understand who they were through their own eyes, but also a good measuring stick to see how far they've come. If you're a parent or someone overlooking a grieving child, I want to take this second right here just to relieve some of the pressure you might be feeling. You're grieving too. You're going through this and you're kind of figuring it out on the fly. Even a video like this may offer some help, but I want you to understand that it is a very challenging process and you might have no idea what to do. Even if you're indirectly related, you might not know how to be there for someone else. Thinking about how my mom had to navigate her own grief while raising 3 children is a tremendous task. I could barely navigate myself around the kitchen at 35 years old. Be honest with them. Age appropriate your words and your way of expressing it to them in a way that they'll understand depending on how old they are. I'm not a father, so take this with a grain of salt. But be honest. Don't use euphemisms. Use simple words so they can understand it. But I wouldn't beat around the bush in regards to expressing the reality of death in life, even at a young age. Provide opportunities of remembrance. Encourage your child to honor and remember the person that they love in ways that you would know better than me, so I'm going to leave that to you. For me, my dad liked to smoke cigars. I'm a grown man. I can do that. Don't give your child a cigar. I like smoking a cigar on his birthday. I still like throwing a baseball and thinking about him. So whatever you see fit that's personal to you, encourage that. Encourage early traditions to remember him. Do things that they love, whatever that may be. It parlays the idea of not forgetting things and and that inevitable memory fade that bears with time. Professional help. I'm no professional. I'm a professional in my own experiences. And as a child, apparently, I don't remember shit. We went to therapy and I only went once and I never went again. So maybe it's not for you, maybe it's not for your child, but it is something to consider. Try a lot of different things. And whether you want to try professional help first or at the end, if you didn't find other mechanisms that work, maybe professional help, whether a therapist or other means, is a good option for you. Take care of yourself. I understand protecting your child or children is the number one priority, and you have to do what you got to do to get through the gauntlet. I know it was for my mom. She always told me we're the reasons why she got through what she had to get through, because she had to be there for us. But at the same time, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take time for yourself. For you to take care of yourself and try to get through it in what way you see fit, you can be there better off for your child as well. Give yourself some grace. Find some kind of ounce, even if it's for a second. Scream in a pillow. Go for a walk. Take a breath. Whatever it may be, just don't forget about yourself, because you're grieving too. Every child is different. So please, the key word right here is patience. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your child. It's a roller coaster ride and you don't see the turns coming. Even though I've done this, I've been through it, I still have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. I'm hoping some of this helps. Some of this has helped for me and I'm hoping it helps for you. But you gotta be flexible, give yourself grace, and if you're a weirdo like me, add some humor in the mix. Try to mix in laughs even in the hard times. And if you can't find the humor, that's totally cool too. That will come in time, and if it doesn't, maybe you're just not funny. But at the end of the day, just let your child know that you are not alone in this, and remember, as the parent or guardian, neither are you.